Tonight, we'll catch a glimpse of the traditional French food recipes. We'll take a relaxing tour exploring the heritage from one of the well-established clans in Hong Kong. Getting tired of fake wedding cakes? We'll check out some genuine and gorgeous ones. And spend a fun moment with Mika. In his songs and his character, this guy's really got something to say.
Welcome to Dolce Vita.
We've got another great show to share with you.
Who can get enough of great food? Even though now the trend is for fusion cuisine, a lot of people still insist on having the most authentic.
But when it comes to authentic food, does it have to come from people who's had it in their family for generations?
In many situations, it does seem that way.
Many people think that French food is all about elaboration and luxury, but that's only one side of the story. To learn more about the other side of the story, Jason, today we're going to sample some simple yet refreshing French cuisine.
Well, I'm always open to new things, especially when it comes to food, just as long as it's all authentic.
Well, don't worry, Jason, I've never let you down before.
This is quite different to the French cuisine we usually have. Without the elaborate side dishes, it's quite delicate.
You know, the chef who prepared dishes for us today is very good at using French classic ingredients in a more traditional French cooking style. Well, the key is using fresh ingredients, just like this fowl breast right here. It looks delicious.
What I have here is fresh cod fillet. One of the most difficult parts of pan-frying cod is how to make it crispy on the outside, leaving it soft and juicy on the inside.
Although French cuisine tastes fantastic, it can get quite complicated when we try to do it at home. But since the chef will demonstrate the cooking of the cod fillets today, let's check out and see if we can get any cooking tips. The cod fillets have to be seasoned and sprinkled with sea salt. Since the cod fillets are very delicate and tender, they're firstly boiled in milk because by doing so, the fish will remain white and fresh even after baking. Now we turn to the light mayonnaise-styled sauce, the aioli. The chef adds the crushed garlic and salt to the bowl, whisked mustard and egg yolks. To ensure it is mixed well, all the ingredients have to be prepared at room temperature, since varying temperatures may encourage the sauce to separate. Then the Jerusalem artichokes are made into julienne and slightly pan-fried. The milk-soaked fish is now taken out and be placed in the dish. Be careful not to treat them roughly or they may break up. In order to add texture and substance, the fish fillets are coated with hazelnuts. Then bake the fish for 20 minutes for a crispy outer layer. To serve, put the fish fillet on top of the aioli sauce and Jerusalem artichokes julienne. A julienne, which is also called a matchstick, is a type of cut that makes a long, thin strip. It's a good technique to use for vegetables and other ingredients when you want to heighten their presentation. As French cuisine always stresses on aesthetic, the chef adds a few drops of black truffle sauce on top of the yellowish aioli to enhance the color contrast. The interaction between an ingredient from the sea, the cod fillets, and ingredients from the earth, hazelnuts and artichokes sparks up an interesting chemistry. What a remarkable dish! No matter what kind of cuisine we have, we all love simple dishes with each ingredient that tastes radiantly by itself.
But that's not to say a great dish can't be made up of a combination of delicious ingredients.
Well, let's not stop sampling right here. So Jason, where are you going to take me? One of the things I love about history is learning about how people used to live, like their customs and cultures.
The massive history of China, it's quite amazing that we've still got so much knowledge about it, let alone genuine artifacts.
Well, much of it has disappeared, and it's not until later that we realize how important things are, and it's really difficult to collect these genuine historical items.
Absolutely, and it's quite a skill to figure out what's worth keeping.
Many said people with the same last name are somehow related because back in many generations, their ancestors are from the same village.
Well, this heritage hall has got to be a favourite place for the Tangs to hang out because they have a lot in common.
Well, Jason, did you notice that this museum is far different from the ones that we usually see? It's got a bit of a pre-war feel.
How did you guess? Well, this building used to be the old Pingshan police station built in 1899, and it's one of the few remaining pre-war police stations in the new territories.
This former police station consists of 3 buildings. The main building is a 2-story white-walled structure with observation posts at roof level. On the north side, there's another 2-story white structure connected to the main building, which forms the annex block. Around the corner, we can also see a small single-story separate building with a pitched roof and its original chimneys. Have you noticed that Chinese people care a lot about their ancestry and where they're from? I mean, I wonder what's so interesting about it.
I've also been asked that question, and it'd be very interesting to find out more about our ancestry, which can be done with just a surname.
Tang clan has a long history in the New Territories. According to the villagers, the ancestors of the Tang clan decided to settle in Pingshan after seeing its fertile farmland surrounded by sheltering mountains and abundant water. They realized that it was a location with excellent feng shui. One thing you may not know, the local famous fashion designer William Tang is one of the representative members of the Tangs. In the past, since transportation services weren't that good, once the bride gets married, she may not be able to return to her maternal home and see her parents again. A lot of times, the bride would learn to sing songs of lament with her sisters to express their sadness upon separation. Since wedding has been a major event in the village, the wedding costumes, accessories, gift boxes, and other items were exquisitely crafted. Family plays a big role in the lives of traditional Chinese. And in a lot of cultures, people come up with many different customs for weddings.
Absolutely, Ruby. Can you just picture yourself being a Tang bride back in the olden days?
According to local tradition, on the day of the wedding, the groom and the brothers have to go through a series of tasks, including playing traditional musical instruments, carrying the bridal chair, and the highlight, of course, is kicking of door couplets. This embroidered silk birthday hanging can be dated as far as to the 11th year of the reign of Tongqi in the Qing dynasty. Nowadays, the Pingshan Tang clan still retains certain traditional customs, such as various ceremonies during festivals. Other than the major gallery that displays the Tang clan's artifacts, there are 2 other galleries settled within the same heritage building.
This heritage hall is located in Pingshan because it's one of the most historical places in Hong Kong.
And one of the 5 major clans, the Tang clan, settled here as early as the 12th century, and since then they built up many buildings relating to their traditional cultures and value. That's why these galleries here introduce buildings along the Pingshan Heritage Trail and present thematic exhibitions on the history and culture of the new territories. After the museum visit, you can also spend the rest of the day enjoying the panoramic view of Pingshan. There are always a lot of myths surrounding health and beauty, but now that we have science, a lot of things should come clearer to us.
I wouldn't count on it. Even scientists get it wrong from time to time. But as long as we're moving forward, it really doesn't matter. Was there something you wanted to share with us?
Of course I do. Protecting our skin against the sun. A miracle product was invented to prevent premature aging and sunspots. This product has been around for years now, but people tend to miss out on it. And yes, I'm talking about sunscreen. After years of dermatologist advice, most of us smart ladies now know how crucial it is to put sunscreen on every single day. But the whole sun shield thing can be pretty overwhelming. That's why I had a chat with the expert. Hello, Dr. Ho. Thank you for being here with us today. So tell me your views on preventing premature aging.
I would think that to prevent premature aging, the most important thing is reducing exposure to ultraviolet light.
So there's different ways of doing that. Can you tell us some of the methods?
I would suggest using sunscreen every day. Because aging comes in 2 parts. One is intrinsic aging, that's due to a biological clock. We can do very little about it. But what we can do is to prevent the aging factors from the environment, and UV being the most important factor.
How do you choose the right sunscreen?
A lot of people think that they can just go for one with a very high SPF and that's enough. But actually, just looking at the SPF, which is called the sun protection factor, is just half the story. What SPF indicates is just a protection against UVB. that's part of UV that we call sunburns. But UV is also very important because UV can cause pigmentation, can cause wrinkling, can cause loss of collagen, and also can cause skin cancer. But it doesn't cause sunburns. However, with the labeling that we have now, we can't always tell whether a sunscreen has a good UV protection or not. One of the ways is to check to see if it has got a PA grading system. Yeah. The PA comes in 1+ to 3+, so we should always choose one with 3+.
Cellulite is a girl's worst nightmare. No matter how skinny you are, there's still a chance that you'll get these lumps and bumps. And if your skin is relatively fair, you can use a coat of self-tanner to camouflage them. Covering them isn't the only way. There's an innovative technology that fights out these ingrained cellulite at the comfort of your own home. To get rid of the stubborn cellulite for a perfect figure in this hot weather is essential. Massage your arm, tummy, and leg with these knitting rollers, which activate microcirculation and promotes tissue drainage. After massaging for several minutes, apply a body contouring draining concentrate that helps to firm and soothe the skin. There are dozens of options in the market that help to treat cellulite. One thing we know for sure is that massage is definitely an important element. It's a quick and effective way to resculpt your body. There's more to an ultimate summer look than just picture-perfect makeup. Protect your skin with the latest technology of sunscreen and perfect your body with the latest massage treatment to fully enjoy your summer. Join us in a moment for Mika's interview, who gave him the confidence in his pop career. And also, check out the wedding cakes that are created with ultimate attention to detail.
How do you untangle a past that's full of difficulties?
Well, some say that every cloud has a silver lining, and many struggles can be turned into a fertile source of creativity.
Absolutely. The inspiration for an artist sometimes comes from a story, a joke, or even the truth.
Mika, you're bloody good.
My little Tamagotchi, he was called Zorro, but he died. My gloomy bear.
One-legged bear
And my little toys from France.
We're almost ready. We're ready.
I'm ready.
Hi, Mika. Lots of people talk about your music being very smiley, but it all can't be smiley though.
Well, I think it makes people smile. Even the sad songs kind of make people feel good, and I think that's a good thing because I write about quite angry things, I write about quite sad things, yet I do it in a certain way that makes people listen. I think it's empowering. I think if you're going to write a song that's sad, you have to present it in a certain way, and suddenly everyone actually wants to hear about it. They're not bored anymore, they're more kind of curious. I love the contrast, I love the juxtaposition of a sad or aggressive lyric with a very kind of innocent, happy-sounding song.
So where did you get the inspiration to write this particular type of song in so many different ways?
I don't know, I think it's a lot of it is how I am naturally. I have this knack of going up to people and saying, wow, you look awful today, and getting away with it, you know, and because I don't mean it as an insult, I just say what I think. Maybe I got it from my grandmother. She's got a particularly entertaining, very sharp, very big mouth. And she says whatever she wants, whenever she wants. And I suppose maybe part of that has gotten into me.
I know you're a very family-oriented kind of guy. How has that helped you in the past with your work?
It's helped in many ways. I come from a family of 5 children and I'm the middle child. I work with 2 of my sisters. And the other 2 are still in school, but they also have worked on my album. I mean, all my siblings are on my album doing backing vocals, on Lollipop and on Big Girl, everywhere, on Any Other World. Also, I work with my 2 older sisters. One of them does the artwork with me, and one of them does all the clothes designing and styling as well. So I think it's good, it helps, you can trust your family. I like this idea of having this mafia of very close friends and family, because no one cares as much as they do.
I also know you have a very international background.
Yeah.
You grew up in different countries, but you're also exposed to lots of different cultures.
Yeah.
like wacky, like the Onion, like yourself.
Yeah.
So how has that helped?
It's helped a
producing
lot.
music?
I don't feel like I belong to one particular place. I feel like I can go wherever I want and feel at home. I feel surprisingly at home here in Hong Kong. It's been quite a fun, few days.
But you're quite familiar with Chinese culture and tradition, no?
Yes, I am. I've been to Beijing about 5 times. My sisters lived there. My sisters again. Let's stop talking about my sisters. Sorry. No, I'm kidding. I've been quite familiar with it. I studied Chinese for 9 years, Mandarin for 9 years, Putonghua, and I'm rubbish. Because I was supposed to be studying in my classes, and instead I spent all the time eating chocolate and gossiping,
Drinking tea.
and watching soap operas and drinking tea.
So what is it that appeals to you about Chinese culture and tradition?
I love the history. I love the kind of like old ancient China. I love the architecture. I also love what potential there is in places like Beijing and Shanghai. When you walk down a street in Shanghai, it feels like what you imagine New York to have been like in the 1920s. It kind of vibrates, the floor vibrates because there's so much construction, and the potential is literally vibrating in the ground.
Over the years, how did you find your style and find out what you want to do?
I do what makes me happy. I dress the way that makes me feel good. I make music as a remedy. I write songs as a remedy to everyday life, for me. I do what I want to do, not because of where it can go, but because how it makes me feel at the time. And that's how I choose to live my life.
You've been compared to the likes of Freddie Mercury. How do you deal with that kind of comparison?
I think you really do what you feel works. As soon as you start over-analyzing yourself or over-calculating the interpretation that people may have of something that you do, whether it's musical or visual or just what you say, then you become boring. And I'm in this for a career, and I'm certainly not going to start questioning myself or over-analyzing myself at such an early stage in my career.
So this kind of no-compromise character of yours, does that sometimes throw a spanner in the works?
I spend half of my life fighting with people. I've spent half of my life screaming at people and explaining why I need the money, why I need more money to make the video I want to make because it's worth it, or that things haven't been done right properly. Of course, I don't want people to be my friend. I just want the work to work. I want the kind of creative stuff to stand up on its own. I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to create a world.
Rabia, who would you say are the stars of a wedding?
Well, of course, the bride.
And the groom.
Well, people always ask after the bride first.
But there's one more star, the wedding cake.
I wish I'd kept count of all the cakes I've tasted over the years so I can...
You inviting me to a wedding?
No, not yet. I figure if I remember all the cake designs and if I were to get married tomorrow, then I know exactly which cake to choose.
Well, I know just the place for you. The owner of this place designs wedding cakes that will put a smile on the face of any couple.
Hello, Chike. Hello. I know there's a story behind this beautiful bakery. Can you share with us?
Of course. The idea first came about 3 years ago when I baked a wedding cake for a really good friend. At the time, I did all the baking at home, and it took me about 4 days to bake and about 3 days to decorate the cake. So it was very stressful, but it all paid off because everybody was very impressed. And I even got some inquiries from some of the guests afterwards. So that was when I first thought maybe there was a market for, pretty edible wedding cakes.
I see over 20 cake designs here. Where'd you get the inspiration from?
There's different sources for all of them, really. Sometimes I see a nice pattern maybe in some stationery or wallpaper and I might try to apply it on a cake. Sometimes I start with a theme and then I work from there.
Apart from edible, delectable, and beautiful, the best wedding cake should be rich in meaning as well. Homemade cakes are cherished as much for their nostalgia value as for their delicious taste. While not everyone can bake their own wedding cake, the personal touch this place offers is definitely the next best thing. Whether you choose a cake that's traditional in flavor and modern design or the other way around, all you need is imagination to make the cake meaningful. Here comes my favorite, Portobello. Just how cute is the design? And this is the owner, Chike's favorite, Waikombi, because it's a cake she designed and made for her sister's wedding. Underneath this regal cake could be the delicate lemon cake or the rich chocolate truffle, whatever flavors you choose. The best bet is to stick with the popular choices so every guest could enjoy the cake. These gorgeous cakes just blown my mind. They're for sure refinement that suits every grand occasion.
Absolutely. So let's learn from the experts, starting with decorations.
Sure. A cluster of sugar blossoms is one of the most traditional yet spectacular decorations for a wedding cake. For the cake maker, it's also very labor-intensive. Creating sugar flowers takes an equal measure of patience, skill, and artistic vision. Of course, combining all these, you would have confectionery masterpieces that are the perfect enhancement to any wedding cake. After making, thinning, and cutting the sugar dough into petals, the cake maker wets them with icing sugar so they adhere to one another as well as to the cake itself. This charming cake has a breezy, dreamy, and bubbly feeling, thanks to the interesting sizes, shapes, and colors of the flowers, and there are enough sugar blossoms to adorn each slice of cake when it is served. Having a perfect slice of wedding cake is certainly a good way for couples to start their new lives together. But let's not forget the loving friends and family who'll come and share your happiest day in life. Will you send off your beloved guests with these sweet sentiments? This place is like a dream. The Victorian decor echoes this whole elegant ambience very nicely.
Absolutely. And these beautiful cakes would suit even a princess's wedding.
Did you say a princess's wedding? That's all we have tonight. Join us again in the coming weeks as we have a chat with Kem Kwok Leung.
And for more information about tonight's episode, check out our website.
For more on where to shop, where to eat, and how to live Dolce Vita in Hong Kong, join us again next week. Bye!